load right there in his jeans and underwear, and it's just
This guy keeps like a counter, like, oh, it's been 37 days since I last shit myself. Apparently, it's a really common thing with this poor gentleman.
So the reason I brought it up is because I have a good one of the last time I can remember doing it for real. It was my freshman year of college, and my dorm was about, I don't know, like a half-mile walk from this cluster of buildings where I was taking classes. And I went, finished one class, and I had like a 10-minute break, and then I had another one in the same building. And I finished the first one, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to that second class. I'm doing fine in it. I'm good to go. But because I really have to shit, and I don't want to shit in this building toilet. I want to go back to my dorm and have some peace and quiet while I take this large shit. And so I'm like, okay. So I leave having to shit at like 30% intensity, but the dream of doing it in privacy is enough to keep me going. And so I start walking back, got my backpack on. I make it about a third of the distance, and I realize, you know, everything's gonna be okay. It just got really intense really quickly, but this is just like one of those storms that you weather. You know, when that storm in your bowels goes.
It's gonna do that thing where it goes blah 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 blah, and like
you clench up
right back up a level.
Yeah, you know that you just caused that toxic level to rise in your system. Where I just kind of clenched and felt and it fills up a little bit more, and I'm probably 400 yards away from my dorm building when I realize, like, I need to shit right now. Like, right now. And so I start sprinting. Keep in mind, this is not just me going home from class. Like, 38,000 people go to this school. And so the crosswalk, hundreds of people getting across. And I just sprint across because everybody's looking at me because I'm the only one running. I run. I get to the door of my the dorm building. I put my card in. It was just a card. It wasn't like a code or anything. So I put my card in. I rush in. I get in the hallway of where my dorm is. And I was in my head, like, this is the moment where I knew I lost. When I stopped thinking, I can do it. 10 more seconds, 15 more seconds, I can do it. I started thinking, how bad could it be? You know? How bad could it be if I just shit my pants? And I start thinking, like, real fast. I get up to my door, and I put the card in, and it does the green beep, where it goes beep, beep, beep. And then I put in, like, 1758 or whatever. I misclick on the card dip, and so then I have to stand there for an extra 3 seconds. I'm doing like a military-style jog in place like this as I'm standing there like, come on, please, clenching so hard. I dip it in again. I get the green. I put in, and as I'm like on the third number, I remember it was like a 7. About 8% of that shit came out. and I knew from that moment, as soon as it came out, I knew that I was on the clock for now it is no longer a war of complete victory, Taylor. Now it is a war of getting into that bathroom without shit getting in this hallway or all over your dorm. And so I get there real quick. I literally, I was wearing pajama pants.
Lost the ass. The underwear will go soon. We have to fight for the hallway in the living room, goddammit.
I was wearing pajama pants, and so I was wearing pajama pants, and so like before, as I was like dipping it, I had already taken this precaution to where I pulled my pajama pants up like this. And with my left hand, I was holding my pajama pants like this to keep it from potentially spilling out. And so I was sitting there. I finally got it open, burst in, went into the bathroom, just took a shit, and like the 10 seconds of like evacuating was so great. But immediately after that, I was like, oh my God, like reality set in. And I was like, I wasn't paying enough attention to know whether or not there's shit leading in here. There could be shit everywhere. And so I start like looking around, trying to like be like, okay, are there any like little droplets or anything around here? Checking like my legs, like, no, I'm good. And it was, I really dodged a bullet semi on that. I'd say I took an arm shot. I didn't dodge the bullet, but it could have been worse. That's the last time I remember.
See those people on Reddit who have just full on shat their pants, and you can see it through their pants, and they're still in public, and it's like, what are you doing here? Like your tax refund can wait, ma'am. You should leave Walmart and go clean the fuck up. Like, what are you doing here at Subway with shit pouring out of your asshole? Like that 6-inch will wait. Like get home and clean your ass.
Yoel Romero did that in the octagon in a UFC fight.
He shot himself?
He did, yeah.
Like a profession where it makes sense that you'd shit yourself. Because you're getting knocked out, right?
It makes sense to shit yourself if you use diuretics to make weight illegally.
Oh, I didn't think about that as being... Okay.
Yeah.
Cheater.
It was a very watery shit, I suppose.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, can't hide that. And of course, we watched that video where the like really amateur UFC fighter shat himself.
Yeah.
And there's poop, like diarrhea poop on the mat, and everybody is like, oh shit. Oh, that's human feces, and they're like all like getting their distance from it.
They escort him like out of the octagon and down the hall, and all the audience is like, oh,
they're taking they're fucking snapping his picture. They're fucking taking. They're like, that's the guy that shit himself. And some people have the good grace to be like, I'm not gonna look at the guy who just shit himself. Let him walk by or pretend like he's not there. But some people are just like, he shit himself. You can see like this guy's nightmare scenario occurring right now. He just got his ass kicked in front of thousands. He's come there from like
some
Kansas,
might say he got the shit kicked out of him.
Literally from Kansas to like the East Coast, they're fighting, and let's call it Baltimore. I don't remember exactly where. And I remember thinking like, well, and I remember thinking that he's probably thinking, it's a good thing. Nobody will know about this. I'm from fucking Kansas. Nobody knows Bill from Kansas out here in Baltimore. Sure, I shit myself, but could have been worse. And then it blew up all over Reddit, all over YouTube. Like there's a CNN article like, got the poop kicked out of him. It's just like the most embarrassing thing I've ever. You're never gonna live that down.
That's mortifying.
Yeah, that was very embarrassing.
There's a new UFC event coming up. Have you guys been like engaged at all in the UFC 202? Yeah.
Yeah, man. I really, really liked that press conference with Conor and Nate Diaz that went down. I don't know what was happening at the beginning of that, but it ends with Nate Diaz